Hello, hello. We are FRÄNDER from Sweden. We are here in Vancouver. It's good to be here. And we're gonna play a few songs now, and we will start off with Kung Björn's Polska. And in Sweden we have one thing that is more Swedish than anything else. But let's start with making a little list, a Swedish list. You all can help me. You can help me. So you know ABBA, you know Zlatan, Saab, Volvo, IKEA, of course, IKEA. Yeah, what else? Come on, give me some.
I heard Swedish chef, right?
Meatballs.
Yeah. Meatballs.
Yeah.
The Muppet Chef.
Muppet Chef. What did you say?
First aid kit or
First aid
First aid
kit.
kit.
Absolutely.
Strömming.
Strömming. Absolutely. Surströmming.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah. Okay. You see, you have a list. You know your Swedish history, but we have one thing that is more Swedish than everything else, and that is the Polska.
Wait. Everybody is saying that we missed the hockey players.
Yes, we are in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the?
Sedin brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have check. No one can accuse us for anything now. Anyway, so we have one thing that is more Swedish than everything else, and that is the Polska. And the Polska came from Poland. Oh yeah. In 1600. 1600. And since then we have been playing and dancing Polska without stopping. It's 400 years of Polska playing. And the story goes, the Poles, they traveled to Germany with the Polska, the Polish dance, and the Germans, they didn't like it at all, so they sent it on to Denmark. Denmark, they claim nowadays that they really like Polska and they are playing Polskas, but I have a theory. The theory goes that they think that Swedes are so freaking cool with their Polska playing, so they were digging deep in their archives trying to find Danish Polskas. And they have a few Polskas, but they're not very cool. Don't tell anyone I said that. Anyway, it came to Sweden in beginning of 1600, and the Swedes loved it, and it's just spread all over the country. And the interesting part here is that usually when things get stuck this deep into a country, it's top placed. It's placed by a king or a tsar or a president or whatever. They say, oh, now you should all become Protestantic or whatever. But here, the people started dancing and playing Polska. Came from below, and the people were dancing and playing Polska for 50 years before the king and the noblemen acknowledged the Polska. And in the middle of 1600, the king was going to get married in Uppsala, me and my brother's hometown, also the best city of Sweden, just for the record. So in the middle of 1600, he was going to get married, and he said, I want the Polish dance on my wedding. And I think that was the nail that went through the Polska and made it stick to Sweden big time. So here is a Polska. We will play two Polskas actually, but this is Kung Björn's Polska, which is another story, but let's skip that for now. Yeah, here's Kung Björn's Polska. 1, 2, 3, did it that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you very much. We're gonna play. We're actually a Swedish Estonian band. Unfortunately, our Estonian member is not here because that happens to be my wife, and she's home with our 2 kids. But we are gonna play an Estonian song for you. Nevertheless, we're gonna play an Estonian song for you. It's called Õhtuõrna, and it means gentle night. It's an old prayer, and it's on our new album. It's 6 months old, our new album, and 6 months young. And it's the only traditional lyrics on that album, this lyrics. And it is, we don't know exactly for sure, but it's at least 400 years old. A prayer, an evening prayer that you would sing or read for your child when he or she goes to sleep. Here it is, Õhtuõrna. And it's also a polska. It's an Estonian polska. Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Derek Mazzoni, and this is Samak Music and Arts. I am at the Vancouver Folk Festival to our beautiful neighbor to the north, Vancouver, and I'm here with a band I like quite a bit called FRÄNDER. I'm here with Gabbi and Daniel, and we're going to talk about stuff, so get ready for it. Tell me about FRÄNDER. How did it start? How's it going? What do you want to do when you came with the idea? What does it mean?
Fränder means, it's an old Viking word that means friends and kin and family and related. Basically it's, so we are all FRÄNDER here, still all FRÄNDER here, until we become enemies, then we are not FRÄNDER anymore.
What's the opposite of FRÄNDER?
Enemy.
Foes, yeah. But FRÄNDER is a closer connection than just friends. It's a deeper connection.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's
So there's no translation. It's like
No, it's deeper. Like the vibe in the word is deeper, even than family. Like we are FRÄNDER. That's a connection.
the word
But
is
still, it includes everyone somehow. Like, or not everyone, but like us, for example.
Okay.
We are all FRÄNDER here. So we have a deeper connection than only being friends or only being family. Yeah.
kindred, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
you guys rely on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allies.
Okay.
I don't know.
The word is actually not in active use in the language anymore, but you find a part of it in the word soulmate.
Själsfrände.
Själsfrände. So the second part is a bit of the word FRÄNDER. Yeah.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Right there.
But
Okay.
it's also a good word for us, good name for us, since we started out as a family band. So we are brothers. My wife is in the band. Our little sister was in the band. She quit now a few years ago. She had enough of her big brothers. But yeah, we started out as a family band.
All still good though?
Yeah, it's okay. We're fine.
Okay.
Still FRÄNDER.
Still FRÄNDER. Okay. And so, how did this come about? How did you? Because you guys, you play a very beautiful, beguiling, as we heard, music which combines tradition and 21st century aspects. It's a big world, and we're more intertwined than ever. What do you find in this that compels you to keep doing it?
Well, so we grew up with rock music. So we are born and raised in a music family. So we are 5 siblings. We are all professional musicians, and our parents are playing as well. But I would say that our traditional music in our family, of course, we were exposed to a lot of music, different types of music, but our traditional music would be classic rock. So our first band was the Beatles, the second band was Jethro Tull, and then I was like 1 year old, and Jethro Tull was my favorite band. And yeah, that was the way. And me and Daniel, we have played together in rock bands for over 20 years. We have played together actually in different bands. And Andreas, our percussionist, he was in our rock band as well. And we toured a lot with our rock band, and things happened, and we developed. That was a teenage band. We were young.
What was the name of the band?
Mad Artwork.
Mad Artwork.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, we were really good. It was a really cool band.
There is some music online.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to
Mad
this.
Artwork.
So we released the first album. The second album is done, but not released because things happened. But yeah, really cool band. But anyway, things happened, and an interest for traditional music occurred and developed. Yeah.
We also started our studies. We studied
Yes.
all kinds of different music. I went to a jazz school education.
Yeah.
And
For some reason, I ended up in a trad school.
after a while, but you
trad, like
Traditional school?
Yeah. Well, traditional music.
In Sweden,
Yeah.
in Uppsala.
No. So in Sweden, you have a lot of music educations in Sweden, different levels. I mean, we've been studying music. I've been studying music all my life in different schools, and you too. But
somehow it was the traditional music, where we kind of found a similar language, like we could meet each other within that type of music, and also we discovered that it wasn't as far away from what we're coming from with the rock music and all that.
No, I think that's the key. Actually, I think when I so Daniel took me. We have in Sweden. We have so if you are ever in Sweden, you have to go to Spelmansstämma. Spelmansstämma, that's like the heart of everything when it comes to Scandinavian traditional music. Spelmansstämma in Sweden. It's a different thing, because it's like a festival. It's like a festival, but not really, because you don't go there to listen to concerts. You go there to play. So it's 1,000 fiddle players playing together. And you walk around the field and you meet these fiddle players. So 2 are standing there playing, like really into their playing, and then a bunch of fiddle players over there, and they are really into their playing, and then you just hear fiddles, and well, there are some other instruments too, but this is a very cool experience, and Daniel brought me to one of those when I was 15, and I think that was my first exposure to proper traditional music, and it was it was a big...
Were you playing any instrument?
I didn't bring an instrument at all. I was a rock star, you know. I was all about playing fast, standing on the stage, like front of the stage, in front of the singer. That was my spot, you know. And
one foot on the monitor, and
yeah. So no, I wasn't playing. But you know what? People were kind. And they were like, "Oh, you should come and join." And I was like, "I don't know anything, you know. I know how to play fast, and I know how to play rock and roll, but I don't know how to play trad." But they still wanted me to join them, and for me that was an eye opener, because as many of you know, when you're in the rock scene, that's not really how it works. Then it's like,
It's judgy, very judgy.
How fast can you play? How many amps do you have on stage? Yeah. So for me that was an eye opener, and then you know, things happened, life happened, studies happened, and we ended up in the trad scene. So I started a master's. I did a bachelor, and then I started a master of folk music, of trad music. So I went the whole way.
So you went the whole way?
Yeah.
So you said people were kind.
Yeah.
So did you find community there?
Yeah. It was a community. People were kind. Another thing was also they were kind and inviting, and also they paid. I think that was also an eye opener for me, because we were struggling with our rock band, and
There's a lot of rock bands.
there are a lot of rock bands. I mean, there are a lot of shitty rock bands, and then there are some good rock bands.
Not
but
judge.
yeah, but still, it's a lot there to like, yeah, and no one pays, so it's a struggle. And here, people were kind. It was a community. They were interested. They actually saw, you know, even as a rock guy, they saw that, oh, you actually have some interesting musicality here. They were interested in, like, my musicality, your musicality, and they said, oh, come and play. I'll give you money.
Okay. So it was an economic and social.
Well, you know, it wasn't necessarily the economical part of it. It was just the whole vibe was so different.
Supported.
Yeah. And it felt like, okay, this is a community that I want to be a part of.
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit, if we may.
Yeah.
What is it about trad? What is it about traditional music? In, you know, it could be different places, but what is it about it that fosters that sense of community, that fosters that ability for you guys? You were in freaking jazz school, and you were on stage in front of the singer. Foot on the amp. How did you find your what was going on there? What was the secret sauce that kind of made you go like, hey, I wanna dig in a little further?
For me, at least, it was a fascination of the acoustic instruments, and also when I discovered that I mean, there's a lot of improvisation in traditional music. Yeah. It's not that far from jazz music. It's a different musical language, of course, but still many similarities. And we're still playing heavy riffs in Fränder's music.
Yeah, we were listening on the way here.
Yeah. It could be played by electric guitars as well. It's
Yeah, but I think that's even further. I mean, that has been a trip for us, a journey for us to kind of end up there. I'm really fascinated in how to create music that could be played by a rock band and still be good music. Like, I want to play folk music, traditional music, but I am interested in arranging the music and creating the music so we could actually just orchestrate it differently and it would work in a rock band, for example.
Okay.
And the other way around. I mean, I would listen to, for example, Opeth, one of the big metal exports of Sweden, and I would listen to them because they have this Nordic dark traddy sound, even though they are a pure metal band. But I would listen to their way of writing music and orchestrate music and think, how could we play the same things, like the exact same notes? Because I think that's possible, that we could play exact the same notes but orchestrate it differently and it would sound almost like trad music, almost.
Okay.
I think that's possible, and that is something that fascinates me and something I'm really into. But I feel that is a journey that we have been wandering now with Fränder for 10 years, and we ended up there now. Before it was, it was different. But for me, I think what fascinated me was the fact that trad music is rock music.
Or rock music is trad music.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example. For example, this is a trad tune, and just to illustrate what I mean. That's rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
That's rock and roll, but that's trad. This is proper Swedish trad, and I'm not playing it even like I'm not playing it in a rocky way, or maybe well, of course I do, maybe because it's me. But you know, if a fiddle player would play this for you at the moment, it would sound the same, and it would have the same attitude, and it would have the same.
What is that?
So this is a Swedish mandola. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Swedish version of a mandolin.
Well, you could say that. It's like a big mandolin. It's an octave mandolin with a low C string. But then I have this. If you zoom in, you'll see this nice head where I have this capo. So my 0 fret is here. So everything below is just extensions. So this is my C to E. Everything else is extension. So I go down to low G. That's my low G, and then I have these capos.
I don't like it at all. It's too low, too low.
So I have all these capos where I can create open tunings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, thank
Your
you very
talent.
much. Yeah, thank you very much. But yes, so I think that was for me the glue. You were asking for the glue. What made me stuck? I think that made me stuck.
What keeps you there?
The same thing, I think.
So community, you feel like do you feel like you know your way around?
Yeah, but I mean nowadays I think it's mainly the music. We have something cooking here. I think Fränder has something cooking, and even transferring the trad music, Swedish trad music, onto this instrument is interesting. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. That's the trad part of me, and then we have Fränder, which is more the contemporary part, which is also interesting because it feels like we have something very cool going on. We are in the tradition of some great bands of Hedningarna and Garmarna and Hovendroven and everything, but we are completely different to those bands. If we would have existed in the 90s, I think we would have been touring with them and having a good time, because we are there but so different, and they are there but so different. Yeah, you get what I mean.
So what is this what to you, what is it about traditions in this way, music expressed as music, that keeps each generation coming back to it?
I think it is different depending on which country we are speaking about.
Speak to the country you're talking about.
Because Sweden, the thing with Sweden is that the tradition never died. It was never extinct.
So
in
it's
Estonia,
supported?
no, it was alive. It was not supported.
Okay.
It was alive.
So in Estonia was...
It was banned because of Russia, and in Poland it was banned because of Russia. And also they also have and all those countries, the Soviet countries, they also had the situation where they lived in Soviet, and everything old was
can
ugly.
you speak what that means? Because I know what that means, but can you, like, what does Soviet mean at that time as far as culture? Like
As
when it
far
was
as
just
culture,
all-
well, I wasn't in Soviet at the time,
Yeah.
so I think you know better than me.
Yeah, it was just everything was distilled. It was like
Yeah.
for the party, for
Yes.
the
Yeah,
you had
everything
to
was
cut the
grey.
edges off.
Everything was grey, and you weren't allowed to do anything that was out of the box. And you weren't in Estonia. You weren't allowed to even have clothes that was the same color as the flag. And you were not allowed to speak Estonian, and you were not allowed to sing the Estonian songs. But that was what they were doing. They were singing the Estonian songs, but they couldn't force them not to in the end. So that was their salvation.
Okay.
Singing Estonian songs. But anyway, so these countries, they had to, well, while being raised in Soviet, the old traditional way was also ugly. It was not something hip or interesting for several generations. So I think now Poland, for example, maybe 20 years ago, they started finding their tradition.
Yeah,
Same with Estonia, beginning of 90s. And actually the ethno camp had a big part of that for Estonia, for example, that we were speaking about earlier, the ethno camp.
So it's an opportunity for people to rediscover these roots, and it sticks in and just become...
And go back to their own countries full of inspiration. And
So but I'm going to press on this a little bit, because you're in it. You're actually been in the space and working on it. If you could look in for a bit, what is it about this that connects you with it? Is it connection to the land, to the language, to the fact that you're making art together that keeps feeding you in this, or gives you the strength to and the inspiration to keep doing it?
I think it's the music.
What is it about the music?
Well, to be honest, I don't think, for me anyway, I really love traditional music, but I could also do rock music because I also love rock music. So for me, it's more about the fact that we are doing music. And now we ended up making this type of music, which is based on traditional music, which means a lot to me, and it's interesting, and it's fun and including, and well, also the knowing that you're playing songs or tunes that are 400 years old. That's a big deal. But
why is it a big deal?
It's very cool. I mean, of course it is very. I mean, you're playing the same songs or the same tunes that people has been playing for 400 years. That's special.
Okay.
Even though it wouldn't be special if the music wasn't good. Or for me anyway, because the music is first.
Okay.
So the music has to be good.
I also believe that every artist is looking for their own voice.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to find something that is grounded in you. This is me, this is how I sound. How does that differ from other music? And within like the pop and rock scene, things sounds the same in a, like, of course not if you look closer, but in a broader perspective.
But no matter from where they come from, it sounds the same. So
Yeah.
Swedish pop music will sound American,
Exactly.
because that's the how to say, that's the way it goes. Like we are westernized, and
exploring traditional music gives you other colors or nuances in your music.
That's what I'm looking for.
yeah.
That's it, exactly. So just like, because you could even say that now Western pop music, American pop music is influenced by Sweden.
Oh yeah.
So it keeps moving back and forth. But and I'm not saying to be nationalistic about it. Like this is our music. We don't do this. Sometimes in these camps you do. It's like that's not a Swedish instrument. How dare you bring this here?
Well, no. My feeling with this music, with traditional music, is that it has nothing to do with being nationalistic. Actually, I feel that that it's extremely open-minded and it's extremely welcoming. And yes, there are a lot of, you know, this tune is from this village after this person. Like that's very, like you look into your belly button, and that's fun. But then I have the feeling that most of the people in this society, they never do it on the so it tips over. Like they are always welcoming, and it's not nationalistic. I think not in a bad way anyway. And when we are out touring, I mean, we are spreading the word about Sweden and traditional Swedish music, but we are also connecting the whole world since we are touring everywhere. We meet people, we meet other musicians, and we see that, oh, holy shit, this tune sounds just like this tune from Sweden, and this one is from, I don't know, Guatemala or whatever. And the costumes, the traditional costumes, they look the same no matter where you are, they are similar. And the world is much smaller than we think it is, I think. And the traditions are closer to each other than people claim them to be.
Perfect. Give me the stuff. When I, both of you, if I ask one, when I say the word roots, what does that mean to you? What is the Swedish version, translation of roots? As in like connection. This is where you started. These are the...
Yeah. Rötter.
Rötter.
Rötter?
Rötter.
Is that the same translation?
Yeah, that's roots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
In the meaning of
what you're doing,
yeah.
like, you know, because you're expressing this. It's like, because people saying like, oh, my family has lived here for blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but you're not doing anything with that. But you're artists, so you're creating. You're taking that knowledge and you're creating work with that.
Yeah. Well, I think roots means for us, or for me, I think it means we are not even the tree, but maybe we are branches and leaves. I think roots are just the, you know, the foundation of everything, and then you have the tree, and then you have branches and leaves. And I think we are not even the tree. I think we are branches and leaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I believe, because, I mean, we have our Polish heritage that gives us, I don't know, other roots as well. So it's you can be rooted in many different ways. And in different places, so it's not. I find it a bit hard to explain.
Let me ask it a different way, because you guys have Estonian, Polish, Swedish backgrounds. If you were to go to Asia or South America or Africa, you're European. So even the nuance of this is just lost on people. It's just because you're white and you're from Europe.
Oh yeah.
But you're actually, there's nuance there. It's like the difference between Portugal and Estonia is quite broad. The fact that they are European doesn't mean. How do you address something like that because you're performing out there, and you're doing a good job? It's like, this is a Swedish polska, this is Estonian polska. You're actually telling that story, but there is that human landscape where it's like, even don't want to, because you want to celebrate, you know, celebrate diversity, champion our shared humanity. You want to create that opportunity, but it does offer, you know, this instrument and this music allows you to present it in a way that doesn't require an explanation.
Well, I think what we're trying to do is to invite the audience to our home. Like, that's how we address it. We don't speak about Europe necessarily, and we don't speak about the differences between our countries. We speak about, how do you say, not the differences, but the specialities of our countries, like what is special and what is very typical for our country. We don't tend to put it in relation to other countries necessarily. We only speak about Sweden. And
Sometimes we do for fun.
yeah, sometimes we do for fun, but that's with our neighbor countries, and that's just mocking the neighbor
Neighborly.
country.
Yeah. Soccer. Okay.
Yeah. But I think that's how we do it. We try to invite people to our home, and we are very generous with that, I think, because we feel that is important.
Yeah.
And we do it big and small. So we speak about Sweden or Estonia or Nordic in general, because the Nordic countries are very similar, and we have a similar tradition and similar tunes and all of that. But we also do it very, very specific to bring them all the way to our village, which is a small village outside Uppsala, which is also important to bring them there and tell them how we grew up and how this music, where this music was written, what the lyrics are about, and all that stuff. So we take them on a trip to Sweden and to Nordic countries and tell them about our traditions and our ways, and then they can make their own mind how different we are to Portugal or
Perfect. You're good hosts.
Yeah, we're trying to be good hosts.
In some way, you're getting more Swedish when you're out traveling in the world.
I definitely believe in that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel, it's a bit strange. We are raised Polish, but we are raised Swedish Polish, and we don't have any Swedish blood. Like, we are Polish. So we have always been a bit strange in Sweden. Like, not much, but a bit strange. And when we go to Poland, we are also strange because we are Swedish. And
We're immigrants.
yeah, but also in Poland they are pretty strict on the Poles that left. And if you don't speak the language, also they are really like, you are not Polish. If you don't speak, you are not Polish, which I think is rubbish. But anyway, but the moment we started touring this much with FRÄNDER and with Swedish, like with FRÄNDER music, I immediately realized that I'm Swedish. I'm out in the world, and I'm a big commercial walking pillar of Sweden.
And you're learning so much about your own tradition by mirroring it to other.
Yeah, and having these type of conversations where we try to kind of boil down what is it all about.
What is it all about? Yeah. Daniel, Gabbi, thank you so much for being here.
You're happy?
Thank you for being on Sama Music and Arts. Massive success with everything you do. We can obviously find you. You're all over social media. You are properly releasing singles at a time.
Yeah.
And we can find you on...
we have a new thing called FRÄNDER Wednesday.
FRÄNDER Wednesday.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So every Wednesday.
Something new.
Something new.
Something new from FRÄNDER. Every Wednesday.
For a year.
For a year.
And then we don't know.
All right. More years.
More years to come, yes.
Thank you. Be well. You guys sound awesome. Love the band. Hey, let's do this right. Who's in the band?
Yeah, good question. Who is in the band?
If that's too sensitive right now, I don't want to bring it up.
No, it's not too sensitive at all. It's just that we have a wonderful band with us here in BC. We have Andreas on percussion. Now you're on picture.
Why not? We can move the camera.
Andreas, and Andreas, we have played together for many years now. We're old now, but we have played together 15 years, I think. Yeah, 10. Okay, so 14 years.
And
in Mad Artwork first, and then
really?
and then we called him. So Andreas is he's a professor in Japanese percussion, specialist on Japanese marimba music.
Talk about niche, jeez.
Yeah, classical percussion. Yeah,
Japanese classical percussion.
Well, I do play marimba, and I play.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Right on.
yeah.
I'm the professor.
Okay.
And yes, so that's Andreas on percussion, and then we have Gabriella on vocals and fiddle. And Gabriella is new to us, and we love her already because Alva, our singer, she had a baby a month ago, So she's on mother's leave.
Life happens.
Yeah. So Gabriella, she came to us as a saving angel, and Gabriella will be with us now for a while. We will see for how long, but we have scheduled 6 months, and we are basically on a world tour at the moment. Actually, spread out over 6 months. We have one country per month for 6 months, and we will be in the U.S. in September, October. And then we will be back in January, but on the East Coast.
Okay.
Yes, so that's Gabriella. And then we have Inga Freijsdottir from Spain.
Okay.
And Inga is the substitute of my wife, my Estonian wife. And we thought that Estonian, Espana. So yeah. So yes, that's how we did it. And Inga actually,
you might want to rephrase that. A substitute for my wife.
Yes, my touring wife. You didn't like that rephrase?
Might have to do some editing with that to save your marriage.
Yes, so Inga is great, and she has been with us now on 3 tours. This is the 3rd tour.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dziękuję bardzo.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję.
All right, here we are. We continue. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Well done.
Well, you too.
You gave us the good stuff.